Am I the asshole for refusing to help my parents even if they end up homeless with serious medical conditions? I, 28F, was raised by super religious parents. It was a fight to be able to go to a normal college and not a Christian one with weird rules. When I did that, they said they will not be paying for my schooling until I come back to the right path. After struggling for a couple of months, a friend told me that the strip club she was working at was hiring. I have been dancing my whole life and have a good figure, so I was hired pretty fast. A few months in, I dropped out of college because I was making serious money, about $3,000 for a bad week and up to $11,000 for a really good one. When my parents found out, they disowned me. The same goes for all of my extended family except for 2 cousins. Fast forward 9 years, I own my house outright, a Tesla, don't have debt. I also own an apartment building that I rent. Stripping has a short lifespan, and investments. Now my parents contacted me. Apparently my father lost his business during COVID. My mom has always been a SHM. They declared bankruptcy and are really struggling. They live in an old camper. Also apparently my mom is diabetic now and my dad has always had heart problems. They wanted my help. I said no, I don't have parents anymore. And furthermore, according to their religion and church, my money was earned while sinning, so to use it is to damn your soul to hell, and I really didn't want that for them. My mom started crying and my dad said that they didn't know where they went wrong with me. That was the last of it from them. A couple aunts and uncles called, but they changed their family helps family tune very fast when I asked why they weren't helping them themselves. But now a couple of weeks later I am starting to feel like I was an asshole to them. Because a month's income from stripping would make a really big change for them, but I won't even miss it that bad. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. They disowned you. And now they're only contacting you because they need help. No, to make amends for their horrific actions. And you're absolutely right. If the rest of the family lived true to their words, they used to guilt you. Your parents would have help and a place to stay in a heartbeat. They're hypocrites. They all need to apologize first and repair the relationship, if that's even possible, before any help is considered. Not the asshole. Though in your case I'd be tempted to send a month's income with a note that says, "This is thanks for the good time in my childhood. But you disowned me, so do not contact me ever again regarding money. This is a one-time gift." That both resolves any mixed feelings you have, and makes you the bigger person. But to be clear, you don't owe them the money, it's about what you want to do. Ask yourself this: would they be reaching out to reconnect with you if they didn't need financial aid? I think the answer would be no. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. In religious parlance, they reaped what they sowed. They disowned you and didn't care if you were homeless when you, the horror, chose to go to the college of your choice. By the way, you have a good head on your shoulders, planning for the future. Have you considered going back to college when you retire? Not the asshole. I mean, they didn't even apologize and they are expecting you to just take care of them like they were the world's best parents? Now on the other hand, if a month's income can give you peace of mind, then go ahead. Count it as charity and get the good karma. Not the asshole. I, 28F, was raised by super religious parents. You had me after this statement. Once I read your whole post, I was even more convinced that you are not the asshole. I don't understand why parents who disown their children for their life choices then expect those same children to help them later on. They disowned you. You owe them nothing. Just FYI, where parents like these go wrong is not accepting that their children have lives and minds of their own and will make their own choices. These parents expect their children to be like mini-me's. That isn't how life works. Not the asshole. They don't get to say, "Your money is sinful, you're not our daughter," and then come begging for a handout almost a decade later when their finances are fucked. You can't have it both ways, parents. They decided religion was more important than their child, and they can continue living with that decision. They made their choice years ago. Now that they're broke, they are willing to compromise and accept your sinful money? Tell them to ask their church for help. Am I the asshole for humiliating my boyfriend's brother at family dinner? So I, 25F, have been dating my boyfriend, 29M, for 8 mallions. I moved to the US 2 years ago and met boyfriend at work. I mention this for context. All is good so far. Then a week ago he said he wants me to meet his family. I agreed, and honestly I was nervous and giddy about it because I felt like everything was going really smoothly and was excited about where it was going. He called his parents and they were really excited to meet me, so we decided to make it a weekend. His parents have a spare room, so they offered it to us. When we got there I was greeted with hugs from Mill, sister, Sil, and her wife, SILW. His Phil gave me a stern pat on the back, but he seems like a reserved type of man, so I took it as a good sign. I then met one of his two brothers, 19 Bill. The other worked on Saturdays, so he would only be here for dinner. We sat down and chatted. They got me real British tea and slippers and it was going really well. Then it came down to dinner. It's hot and I am in a summer dress. So that's when Mike, 26M, came home. He lives with his parents after a nasty break-up with his ex a year ago. Boyfriend told me she screamed at him on Christmas for being a controlling sexist. She kicked him out of their apartment. Boyfriend introduced me. Mike looked me up and down but didn't say anything but nice to meet you. I brushed it off. Halfway through dinner, the convo is flowing nicely and I feel comfortable, then Mike out of the blue asks if I'm pregnant. Now I am what people call mid-sized. Kudos to my boyfriend who choked on his food. He got really upset by that comment. I replied with a laugh and said no. Boyfriend was staring daggers at Mike, who was staring at me. Then he said, boyfriend has never dated a fat girl before. I was so shocked my mouth went dry. Everyone kind of sucked in air and froze. I think everyone was too stunned to speak because we were all frozen and staring. I was staring at Mike when he looked down at my breasts and continued. And you're showing a lot of skin. I'm not sure if he was trying to haze me, but that did it. I laughed so loudly that a few people jumped. You'd think a 26-year-old man living with mummy and daddy would learn not to judge people, but then again, your girlfriend kicked you out for being a piece of shit, so what do I know? Silw and brother-in-law laughed, everyone else was shocked. Mike got angry, stood up and told me fat girls shouldn't judge people. So I told him that neither should a man with a micro. Easy to say dinner was ruined. Mike got up and stormed out of the house. Silw and Silw stayed to clean up and boyfriend took me to our room to calm me down. He told me what I did was justified. The next day was just BF, me and his parents. Bill's hiding in his room after an awkward breakfast. Mill is worried because Mike didn't come home and won't answer calls. Mill won't look at me. We left shortly after breakfast and Phil rubbed my back, but I got no hugs from Mill and I know I overreacted, but am I the asshole? Edit. Referring to them all as Mill and Phil because not enough characters. Not the asshole. I don't think you realize how many people would dream to have the interaction go the way it did. Never be ashamed to finish a fight that someone else started. Not the asshole. Well, I think you got a preview of what life as part of this family would be like. Mike is obviously, words I'm not allowed to use in this sub, but what about everyone else? Just silence while Mike continues to insult you, completely unprovoked? He's the one who ruined dinner, he's the one who decided to insult you, and they're tacitly blaming you because you didn't take it on the chin like a champ? Oh no. Laughing at your comment, silently glaring at Mike, and giving you the cold shoulder are all woefully inappropriate responses to what he said. They should all thoroughly be ashamed of their family member and should have jumped to your defense, especially your boyfriend. I think it's pretty obvious no one in this family has your back. Not the asshole. Mike acts like that because his parents let him. Whether he's the golden child or because they agree with his hateful remarks, parents will be a problem. NTA Mike has it coming. I would however send flowers to Mill and say it was nice meeting her and thank you for making you feel welcome just to clear the air with her. Not the asshole. I think we all know enough people who have been babied and enabled, which allows them to think that behaving so badly is acceptable and they can get away with it with no consequence. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Not the asshole, he dished it and couldn't take it. This sounds an awful lot like a post from yesterday, except brother-in-law was living with parents because his wife, Nana, divorced him because he was controlling. At the family meal, brother-in-law told Op she was showing too much skin because she was showing cleavage. Op made a knock-knock joke using Nana's name. Not the asshole if the bully wants to be a royal and the parents won't shut him down. Well, little Micro should learn to take what he dishes out. Update. Am I the asshole for revealing to my dad's wife the real reason why me and him were never close? Original post. Words can't express how much it meant to me getting so much love from my last post. Everyone who supported not just my actions but also acknowledged the hurt. To all the sweet internet moms who commented and DM'd me, y'all know how to make someone feel loved even by total strangers, lol. Since so many people wanted an update, here it is. It's a little heavy and for a couple days I needed some time to process it and do some crying. They're splitting up. Heard it first from my grandma, then from his wife, or I guess ex. She was legit crying on the phone when she called to tell me sorry for putting me in that position. Her and my dad had a longer conversation where he told her everything else he did, so she made that decision she can't stay with someone like him. And she wanted me to know how disgusted she is. Also to tell me thanks, which is something I really needed to hear. My dad is who he is, yeah, but regardless, two people splitting their marriage because of what you said is a hard thing not to feel guilty about. This lady is heartbroken going through divorce just a few months after getting married, and she wanted to make the time to reassure someone else that they made the right choice. Unexpectedly though, my dad wanted us to talk yesterday too. My girlfriend again didn't want me to. Trust me, I get her point. She's the one who didn't want me having dinner with them in the first place. For one thing, we didn't know what he wanted to talk about and what would that do to my mental health. It was probably a bad risk to take, but I met with him. And yeah, I should listen to my girlfriend more when it comes to this stuff. First time in my life I think we had a conversation about my mom. How much he loved her, them being happy and excited about having a family. But then she died, and he told me even if it's wrong he can't ever not blame me because simply, if I hadn't been born, she'd still be here. He's only sorry for not completely staying away from me and saying horrible things growing up. While he wasn't saying this to be malicious, since he seemed sincere, it was still an ouch for me. In the end we decided having a relationship with each other was never gonna happen and said goodbye. He at least apologized for trying to put me in that position. First good thing he ever did was tell me what happened with his wife wasn't my fault. Then I just went home and cried. Had my day to process, a short therapy session and support from both my aunt and girlfriend to get me through. The rest of my family is leaving me alone, at least so glad that in the end it was resolved. Not a total happy ending, I know, but in the end it's better this way. His late wife would be ashamed of him. You gave that woman the best possible gift she could ever have: honesty. Something that she clearly didn't get from her own husband, which is a second tragedy in all this. The truth of what happened would have eventually come out at some point, so the best thing for you and for her was what happened when it happened. Live in the light and love well, you deserve all of life's blessings. I am sorry you dad is like this. But frankly he is projecting. If we really want to play the blame game, it's his fault for consenting to get her pregnant. I prefer it's a sad accident, but if he insists someone has to be at fault, it is his own. None of this is your fault. Take care, Op. He told me even if it's wrong he can't ever not blame me because simply, if I hadn't been born, she'd still be here. Your father still has a lot of growing up to do because, based on his flawed logic, it's all his fault for getting her pregnant, but that's besides the point. I hope life gets better from now on, and it's great that you have your aunt and GF's support. Hope you're able to heal from all the damage he's done to you. I'm sorry your sperm donor is such a bad person. I'm glad that you are taking care of yourself, and you shouldn't feel guilty at all. You only told the truth. Be strong, Op. You deserve to be loved. Op. I'm sorry you were given such a spiteful man as your dad. His grief may have started how he treated you. His spitefulness and overall anger has clouded his judgment. You are not responsible for his marriage dissolution. Only his actions are the culprit. The one thing you can see as the light at the end of the tunnel is that you now know that he knows that he is responsible. His acknowledgement and respect is no longer warranted, as why would you associate with him outside of being your sperm donor? Find your own family that you chose. I have done that when I have officially cut my dad out of my life. Surround yourself with worthy people who love you. I didn't know people as fundamentally cruel-hearted as your dad actually existed. I'm so sorry that you ever had to experience that conversation. Op. I hope this whole situation can give you some closure. I'm sorry your dad couldn't be the father you deserved. And I hope you can heal from all the horribleness he put you through now that he's out of your life. I just want to reiterate that none of this was your fault, every ounce of it was your dad's. I wish you all the best, heart. Am I the asshole for trying to help a girl at the gym? A month ago a girl started regularly coming to the gym that I go to. I'm not a stalker or anything, we just happen to be there during the same hours. I have been working out and going to the gym for years now, so I am pretty knowledgeable about workouts, nutrition, etc. So I have noticed that this girl doesn't have a workout plan. She doesn't have leg day, arm day, etc. She just exercises several parts of her body every time. She doesn't count reps, she doesn't do sets, generally it's a mess. So the other day she was at the treadmill and I went for a chat. We chatted for a while and I politely advised her to have a workout plan and to exercise specific body parts each time. She told me she cannot come to the gym every day but only 3 times a week, and that she used to be a dancer, so it's unnatural for her to exercise only one part of her body. We went back and forth, politely of course, and I insisted that she has a designated leg day, arm day etc. so that she can focus on these body regions and muscle groups. She insisted that that's not how she likes her workout. She liked to do cardio, legs, arms and abs every single time. I told her that if she wanted to see muscle definition and growth, it would be wiser for her to focus on muscle groups and mind her nutrition. That's when she got angry. She practically yelled at me to leave her alone and that I have no idea what her goals are. I didn't insist, I just left her alone, but my workout buddies agreed with me that she was out of line. The whole conversation lasted around 10 minutes and honestly I just wanted to help. So am I the asshole for wanting to help this girl at the gym? Honestly, her body looks fine and her form is correct, it's just that her schedule is a mess. How did you type this out? Read it with your own eyes, and then post it. Still thinking you're not the asshole? You are the asshole. Absolutely. Don't give unsolicited advice. Ever. Especially to women at the gym. It's creepy and borderline harassment. You are the asshole, and so are your little workout buddies. Nobody asked your opinion, least of all the woman in question. Recommend this new exercise where you remove your head from your ass. 3 sets of 10 every time you think about talking to a woman who is minding her own business. You are the asshole. Of course you are. Just because you work out a lot doesn't make you right or knowledgeable. Working out separate body parts on different days is not the go-to advice anymore. Even if it were, she didn't ask you. Also, she's a dancer, so she probably knows way more than you about how to train her own body and about nutrition than you do. And she was right, you don't know what her goals are. You were way out of line. There is nothing worse than an uninformed know-it-all giving you unsolicited advice and then doubling down when you tell them to buzz off. Now she's going to be uncomfortable every time she's there. Never talk to her again and hope she hasn't reported you to the gym. You are the asshole, and if she only works out 3 days a week, how much do you watch her to know her routine or lack thereof? Leave her alone. You are the asshole. Step 1. Mind your own business. End of steps. You are the asshole. 1. Your way isn't the only way. 2. She politely said, no, multiple times and you just kept insisting. Talk about needing a lesson on, no means no, because, I already like what I'm doing, means number 3, nobody asked you. I know, you feel that you are bestowing a wonderful gift of knowledge upon her, but she literally never asked you. Her schedule is a mess. Hey, stop it. Don't do this. Don't. Nobody likes it. This is why women avoid the gym. You are the asshole. Why is it that gym bros _have _ to mansplain exercise to women who just want to exercise in peace? Hi. 6-day-a-week gym person myself. You are the asshole, majorly. You do not offer unsolicited advice. You do not keep offering unsolicited after the initial decline. You do not know her goals, she is absolutely right. The only time I will offer advice is if someone I am working out with asks me what I do specifically. I keep my mouth shut 100% of time even if I observe people doing something wrong, it is not my place.